It's just waiting. There we go.
Oh, is that right? Now we're live.
What's up, fuckers?
You know, shit and stuff. Blake, how's it going?
Good. How are you, man?
Not too bad. Yanzi's on as usual. First guy. Where's Oscar? Waiting for Oscar to chime in.
Technically, he's not on because we have no viewers right now. But there you go. There we go.
Well, of course. That number two better be. Oscar or Oren. All right.
What's up, guys? We have an unmentioned guest this week. Balake.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Balake. Yeah, that's how we say it in Canada, Blake. Balake.
Oh, yeah, I get it all the time. No worries.
Very distinguished like that. Yeah.
Yep.
He is silent, so it's black.
Blake Lives Matter.
Blake Lively. Yeah, there you go. What's up, dude? How's Missouri today?
Oh, it's going good. Just got back from Michigan yesterday and just getting back to working, doing some hand loads right now, but that's about it. Doing load development and getting the girlfriend's rifle here built and getting her ready for deer season right around the corner. So what have you guys been up to?
Oh, that's a lot to unpack right there.
Yeah, it is. Wait a second. Deer season right around the corner
for you.
Expand.
For me. Yeah, whitetails in Missouri. Yeah, it's coming up. You got to get ready for it. So I'm trying out a bunch of different loads here, doing 140 TGKs and 6.5 Creed, and might try out some other stuff too. Forget the name of them too. They're 120. Well, I did the 127 LRX, and they got a 123 monolithic. That's I think it's an African brand too. It's a monolithic bullet somebody sent out me to try. The first name of it starts with a P, but supposedly pretty good. So be doing a different ladder test on those and trying them out and putting them on gel blocks, see what happens. So
interesting.
Yeah,
you arseholes down there get a lot of stuff that we don't up here.
Yeah, we gotta send you guys a freedom package one of these days.
I think that's a good idea. I think we might have to go through a dealer though for that.
Yeah.
Good Lord. So
FFL.
Yeah, no kidding. So deer season now, like how does that go? I'll give you an idea how it goes here. We have our different species, different seasons. Generally, we have archery first. Like it starts in the third or fourth week of August for elk, say. And I think they've moved back whitetail and mule deer for archery back to the 1st of September. And then as it progresses through the season, it'll go archery, muzzleloader and shotgun through to rifle in different seasons, and it's a little bit different down there, isn't it?
Yeah, so we it's kind of similar, but here in Missouri at least we only have one deer species. It's just whitetail.
Boring.
Yeah, I know. They don't get very big either. You got to feed those suckers a lot, but so generally speaking, it's you got youth season first, and that's about 2 weeks before open season for rifle, and you get archery that's mixed in between there. And then you have alternative season towards the end of rifle season. And that's for guys that want to take 300 blackout pistols or like muzzle loaders and stuff like that and do subsonics.
Well, I envisioned alternative season to be something totally different.
No. Some spears or something.
Right.
Pearl Jam season. Alternative.
Yeah. But
yeah, how long does your total season run? Like I know some states go through into February or some damn thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's usually it's been changing a lot over the past at least 3 years. Specifically because bears have been starting to migrate up north in Missouri now. So they've been kind of figuring out what's going on with this season. So they've been sending out forms and stuff to whoever's registered Missouri Conservation, just saying, hey, when do you want to start hunting bear here in Missouri? Or it might run into whitetail season and stuff like that. But as far as other stuff goes, like nuisances, like coyotes, or like we were talking about dillos the other day too. They're just like confusing all year long. So you just mess around with that stuff.
Hey, is it mandatory for you guys to take your banjo along with you into the blind?
Oh, low blow.
Your banjos.
Banjos. Oh,
is it mandatory? Plank a few-
That's how we get the that's how we get the deer to come in and everything else. We just play a little tune and they all come running in.
I would have thought that would have called in
pal.
would have called in your neighbor rather than the deer.
Now probably you gotta watch out. You never know who's gonna walk around the corner.
Oh geez. How is it down there in Missouri for being crowded? Like I know in other states, like I used to guide up north and you hear stories like Connecticut being one, very, very crowded.
Yeah. You talking like primarily like in cities or just like public land hunting wise or what?
In cities, like you can hunt in cities.
Oh no. Trying to clarify what's going on.
What
here.
species are we talking about here?
Yeah, I guess with public land, I don't hunt too much of that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard public land getting too overpopulated with hunters on deer season because there's a lot of places out here in Missouri where you can go hunt public land wise because the really only two big cities you have is St. Louis and Springfield, Missouri, and that's about it. I mean, you drive about 45 minutes out of the city, you're pretty much in the middle of the country. So, I mean, you can go hunting anywhere, knock on a farmer's door and ask him to, shoot some coyotes who wants them off his property or anything like that. So it's pretty easy.
You don't get the crusty old guys down there like we do up here, do you? Like,
oh, no.
Get the fuck off my land.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends who you're talking to mostly. If you come uninvited, it's not going to be a good day for you.
Andy Frisella's got some land around your place, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I'd be the wrong guy to not ask.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, there's other things too. Like I don't know how it is up in Canada. I'm sure you guys got them, but there's a place near where I go. It's about 1,500 acres, and it's all fenced in. And man, it's like species that aren't even native to the state. You have like elk and moose and water buffalo. I mean, you name it, it's going to be there. And guys will go pay a flat fee to go there for like 3 days to go hunt. And they got pigs all over the property too. But I haven't done it personally, but I've driven by down in the huge hill that they have right there. And it's all predator and prey kind of hanging out. So they're pretty tame. So I don't know how big
all those nightclubs in Saskatchewan here. Pigs, predators, and prey.
Yeah.
Well, 1,500 acres. That's a tiny little property up here,
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah, any average Joe owns that.
No kidding. So, Blake, who are you?
Oh, man. That's a good question. But
I ask myself that every day.
Young guy doing some impressive stuff.
Yeah.
From what I know.
Just been your loading since about 14 years old. As you guys know, kind of started a page just talking about gender loading stuff, just kind of talking about controversial topics and lending a helping hand out there. I know one of the biggest shortfalls that I came into starting out, and I'm sure you guys have noticed this too, is there's a lot of paid reviews out there. So I'd buy products and I'd get them and they wouldn't be up to par like they were saying. So kind of rubbed me off the wrong way and just took it in my own hands to start reviewing this stuff and putting out some information of my own findings. So, so I've just been helping people out. I do live videos too with people one-on-one if they need help. It's all free. I don't charge them for any of that stuff. I just love talking about reloading. So other than that, I mean, just the app too. As you guys know, the RAD development thing, that's been out for about a week now. Oh my God. I mean, you guys have seen it too. There's so many data points on that thing that you can collect. 27 different ones in case preparation alone. And
I'm going through this thing going, fuck, when does it end? Save.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty good though. It's pretty thorough, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot in there.
We got an update coming next week. I'm sure you've seen the charts too for like finding your node through like OCW or doing a ladder test. How many people know it? So we'll have that populate graphs so you can see that on your phone to find your node and just go right through it. Seeding depth test, temperature stability test that we talked about last time. I mean, it's got it all. So, reloading is just a subjective art to begin with. I mean, you got guys at Plank, IDPA, PRS.
Yeah, man.
So I try to cover it all as much as I could to put it on there. So
Well, and you built that app, so it's called Rad Development, and your business is reloading all day, right?
Yeah, I mean, necessarily, I wouldn't call it a business. It's more me just messing around on it, and just trying to help.
Well, let's call a spade, dude. You've been reloading since you were 14. How old are you now?
I'm 22.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So you've reloaded longer than I've had my pal.
I have shorts older than you.
Well, and you built an app that you wanted for yourself, but you also expanded upon it to get all encompassing, right? And
Yep.
That's phenomenal. And
Yeah.
Your Instagram page, checking it out right now, 45.1 thousand followers, and you've got some cool shit on here. Like you do the meme shit. Who doesn't? But you also have you're reloading for 4570. So you take a kick-ass photo of your Marlin. What is that? An 1895
SBL, yeah.
SBL. Okay, is that the Jurassic Park gun?
Yep. Yeah.
But that's so cool. Like, you've got some great content, dude. So like, what made you want to do that?
Oh man, yeah, just like what I was saying earlier, it's just starting out reloading and just seeing the void of out there, people not trying to lend a helping hand out to others, and just get into that whole reloading aspect. I mean, the amount of messages I get from people too, they're just like, they don't know where to start, they don't know where to go, they don't know what to buy, they don't know what's going to be over the top. Like I said, it's subjective, so. I mean, reloading those things that guys don't expect to pay a lot of money getting into it, but we all know that's a rabbit hole going down later on. So,
absolutely.
I just try to, help people out, tell them what they might need, what they might want to try, things to look at just to kind of guide them on a path that they might want to take. So,
and like you said, unbiased opinions as well. Like you've got sponsors, but you don't have. You're not paid to review a product.
No, all those articles, they're non-paid. I don't get paid for any of that. The only thing we do is just put a Vant link on there. So if somebody clicks on a link and, they buy something that I talk about, that's the only kickback we get. But as far as that goes, no companies pay me to do any of that stuff.
Well, and you've got some heavy hitters following you too. You got Barnes and Osler, like a bunch of high-end manufacturers that want to hear what you got to say. Sierra, Burger, oh man. I'm jealous. I want your followers.
Kick a few our way.
Dylan Precision, like way to go, dude. And props, dude, for being so young and getting, quality content out there. I know how tough it is trying to get, self-established and stuff, and you're killing it, dude. So way to go.
I appreciate it. Yeah, just getting done with school here, just looking for jobs now. So hopefully I can end up working somewhere in the gun community doing something.
Yeah, no doubt. What'd you take in school?
I'm doing supply chain analytics, so it's completely different than the world. Except if
but gun companies have supply chains.
Oh yeah, they do. Just depends on who you work for.
On a lot of business type minds like analytics. So hey, that degree for all you listening.
No kidding. I mean, look at what's going on right now with the primer shortages and powder shortages and stuff.
Well,
let's wait a second. What? Are you guys experiencing that right now?
Oh man, you guys are going to get it bad. You haven't witnessed any.
That's what I'm worried about, because
all right, so
I haven't heard it yet.
So I don't know. It's
going to come down.
Is there a way on your guy's screen that you can pull up an internet browser on your webcam there to show everybody?
Sean can do that. Yeah.
What am I looking for?
Go to Gunbroker and look up primers in the U.S. They're going for about $100 for 1,000 primers right now, and they should be going for $35. And you can't find them anywhere in stores. There is another guy,
young Jamie.
There's one guy on there the other day too selling CCI 400s for $400, 1,000. But just to put it in perspective, I had to drive 2 hours just to find 300 primers in my state, the whole entire state, that I could find them. And as far as that goes, I think it's Fort Scott Munitions here in the U.S. Really interesting business plan. They've actually reached out to their customers to buy their own primers off them. That's how bad things are getting here.
Holy fuck. Wait. Okay, here. I'm going to share this. So here we go. Let's share screen. Let's go to screen one. Let me know when you guys can see it. There. We're good now. So 5,000 Tula ammo, small rifle primers, 250 US.
Yeah, keep on going down. It gets worse.
1,500. Oh, for 15. Oh my, $130 for 1,500 small pistol primers.
Yeah,
That's 416 Barrett. 1,000 for 135. Oh my goodness.
yeah.
2,000 for 180. This is insane.
So you know what's coming here, Sean.
Yeah,
so you can double those prices.
So
and cut the supply by 3/4.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Part of the problem had to do with COVID hitting Fiocchi. They in Italy, they haven't been able to send primers over for about 2 to 3 months. Their imports and exports, they just weren't allowing it as far as primer goes. And then I wouldn't quote me on this. I've heard through the pipeline, supposedly through Hodgcon reps, the H1000 powder, it's not obtainium right now because our military contracts just pretty much bought up all of it. And then
I have 2 pounds.
If you sold that in the US, you probably get
$400.
It would sell. It honestly would sell.
God.
And then what was it? The Department of Defense just picked up 6.5 Creedmoor ammo from Hornady and their 9mm defense rounds. And then as far as military contracts go, that was about it. COVID hit, panic buying, rioting hit, panic buying. Talk about that bullwhip effect. And a lot of the companies right now, they're just saying, hey, by the time we build a new facility to make primers, this wave is probably going to crash. I mean, with elections coming up too, that panic buying.
I was going to say, yeah,
that's man. We got a Joe Biden.
October, November, December is going to be fucking wild for that stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
just depending on what happens in November.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, even lower receivers for about 2 months. Our local guy here for ARs, he was saying that they were looking into next year's first quarter, and a lot of the bigger chains are looking into next year's third quarter just to get lower receivers and upper receivers. I mean, the roll pins, all that crap was out of stock. Aero Precision just launched their builder set, their OD green, and their their site crashed 3 times in like 20 minutes or something like that. They sold out of all of it. So, I mean, it's all going fast. Everybody's panicking. So
what does that tell you, Antifa?
Yeah.
The public is fucking armed.
Yeah. I mean, we just had I think it was, don't quote me on this, I think over 3 million new gun buyers here in the US just in this past month too, from all this rioting.
Yeah.
So
I don't doubt it.
That's going to add a lot of ammunition, lack of supply. So I don't know if they're going to build new facilities or not, but it's getting bad.
Hey, Blake, what do you think of this? Tom's asking Remington going Chapter 11 having any impact?
Yeah, that actually opens up a can of worms here. So Biden proposed a bill that if he gets elected, I don't know how it's going to go through. I mean, of course, you got Republicans in the Senate and House probably going to, kick it out. But having that said, they're making all firearms manufacturers liable for any deaths that are used with their firearms. And that's exactly what happened with Remington.
Seriously.
Bushmaster, yeah, with the Remington brand. So I think it was Sandy Hook, and their judge said it was good to go. And that really hit them. And I mean, I don't want to get into the nitty gritty or, bash any brands here. But, I mean, listening to other people talk about it, like, big guys with podcasts too, they're saying it was just a lack of innovation on their part too, with not coming out with, brand new stuff, something to really get people to buy. But the big thing was definitely that going through and letting them sue over, that guy using their gun. It's ridiculous.
But, it's ridiculous. That's, and where does it end? I can't talk right now. Sorry, I'm still coming over that cold. Like, are we going to start selling or suing Honda for Civic owners that drunk drive? Like,
yep.
Like,
that's the thing, man. You give them an inch, they take a mile. Next thing you know, they start coming after the second and the first, the third, the Fourth Amendment, and it keeps on going on. But who knows?
See, we don't have those great things called amendments.
Yeah.
We've got the Charter of Rights and Freedoms
that
is a load of horsecockery. But I digress. Anyway.
Yeah.
Stop digressing.
Yes. Yes. And then here, Tom again. Look at Tom coming out with the
NRA news, dude. Yeah, I haven't read too much into that, but apparently, I forget his name. Whoever the head is and all that.
Wayne LaPierre.
Yeah, Wayne LaPierre, or one of his other individuals, was taking a lot of money and buying like $50,000 suites or something like that. And
not just that, he was allegedly, this hasn't been proven, but allegedly he was using member dollars to fly himself and his family using the NRA company jet.
Yep.
And on 2 instances, he wasn't even on the jet with his family, going to the Bahamas. And I think they were saying they went to the Bahamas like 33 times in 3 years or something like that.
Really?
Just unreal.
Absolutely brilliant.
I think that one of the best things I heard by that, I don't know if you guys follow Lucas Bakken at T-Rex Arms. You heard of that kid?
Rob. Sorry. Rob from K-Barbs. What's up, gay boy? Oh, that's great. Anyway, sorry, what?
But you ever heard of Lucas Bakken at T-Rex Arms? You follow that kid on you?
I follow him. I haven't, checked him out lately, but what's up?
He made a pretty good comment about that the other day. Is about at least organizations like the NRA. I mean, their end goal, and I agree with it too, should be to the point where they take all infringements out and they effectively shut themselves down at that point because there's nothing else to go after. I mean, that's kind of putting it in retrospect right there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of concerning because we have the FPC, which is the Firearms Policy Coalition. I think you have a term for that up in Canada too. I think your FPC is something different. Up in Canada.
It is at that, yeah.
Yeah. And
we're just not sure what it is.
Lay FPC.
yeah.
But we got the GOA too, the Gun Owners of America. But there's been a lot of people just getting pissed off in the NRA, kind of just like, messing around with their laws and kind of just being like, hey, you pass this law, we'll pass that one, money the other way. But I mean, I don't try to get into the whole politics thing of it. But having that said, there's been a lot of people saying, hey, if they get taken down, the FPC and the GOA, they're going to step up and take this. But at the same time, man, the NRA has so much reach. So I don't know, going to be one of those things where they just take everybody that are NRA and just put all new people in. I mean, I don't know. It's definitely a touchy topic here in the U.S. I mean,
similar to what happened up here with the NFA. We call it the National Firearms Association.
Okay, yeah.
And they're the reason the CCFR, Canadian Coalition for Firearm Rights, exists because of the shenanigans of the board. And we just couldn't put up with it, and we started the CCFR. So anyway, very similar. And everybody in those power roles, power corrupts and power goes to people's heads, and everybody has egos, right? And it's if there's ever a difference of opinion, it's always, well, I'm right and you're wrong because I said so. This is my idea, and blah blah blah. It's just,
do you know who I am?
Yeah,
that sort of thing for sure. Yeah.
So we feel you, bud. But except we're in a much shittier situation overall. Because we technically don't have rights. Owning a firearm in Canada is a privilege, and whereas you guys have it in your constitution, and we don't. And that alone sets you guys apart. But we also, as of May 1st, we had a ban that took out all of my guns pretty much. And so you guys have to watch us and learn from us and what has happened. And you can't let this shit with the NRA derail your fight, because it's just beginning for you guys. And
I totally
don't give them an inch.
I mean, we have state laws too. Here in Missouri, we're really pro QA. I mean, if like red flag laws, for instance, that ever came here, it would probably only be in St. Louis and maybe Springfield. But
but Virginia was perfect, and then they switched the government. The government switched the last election, and now it's a shit show.
So with that, I believe what happened was a lot of the people didn't go out to vote for that, and it ended up turning all Democratic, unfortunately. And they started chipping away at their gun rights instantly and started trying to implement all these different laws. So they saw, I don't know if you guys saw, they re-voted per county inside the state.
Yeah.
Second Amendment sanctuaries. And I think all but 2 counties, which the city and one other county didn't vote for 2A sanctuary. So everybody showed up. Everybody was peaceful. There was nothing going on, nothing wrong at all. So the governor just goes, all right, let's postpone it for a year. Don't have to worry about it until then, or however long they postponed it for. Everybody went home, didn't have to worry about it. COVID hit, perfect time to do it. They went in. They didn't even let anybody vote on it, really. They just said, nope, this is happening. And yep. So, I mean, even you guys too. I mean, where's the line in the sand at this point? I mean,
there is no fucking line. It's just the bozos down.
There's a front. It's not the line. It's a front. Yeah. And right now, you have, and I just got into this. So it's not like you guys. We don't have Democrats and Republicans up here. We have a multi-party system. And right now, the majority of them lean to the left. And provincially, I got on the horn to one of our provincial guys last night saying, he posted about, the current party in power for Saskatchewan posted or sent out like robo texts, right? Saying, hey, who are you going to vote for? Right. And in the one response was like, nobody, because you're fucking doing this and blah, blah, blah. And the former leader of the NDP, the New Democratic Party, who's very left leaning, almost socialist, posted this. And I said, this is why we have such a schism in not just our country, but in the US as well. It's because it's tribalism through and through. And even though I disagree with you, you have the right to say your opinion, but I have the right to disagree with it and tell you that I disagree with it. And it's not like, no, fuck you. Just because you listen to these, or you're a fan of these guys, I'm not going to listen to you. It's like,
man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And, it's going to boil down to violence one day. I'm not saying, civil war, but, somebody's going to get hurt. A group of people are going to get hurt one way or another. And it's ridiculous. And it should have never got to this point. And yeah.
I want to see the electromagnetic pulse hit. I mean, aside from letting go of this podcast, which would really suck. But I just want to see it all burn to the ground. And then we will separate who will and who won't survive.
Who the bear shit and the buckwheat is right there, I'll tell you what.
You fucking right, boy.
I mean, even here in the U.S., like you can vote for different parties too. Like we have the Libertarian Party and stuff like that. We have Jo Jorgensen coming up. She believes that, whatever our military has as far as weapon goes, like M1 Abrams or F-15, we can get them. Citizens should be able to buy those. But she wants open border policies, and she agrees with a lot of the Democratic sides, but just leaning more libertarian in some senses. So it's a little confusing, but unfortunately, the U.S. has fallen to a 2 totalitarian party system where you vote Democrat or Republican, and it's red versus blue at this point, unfortunately. But man, I mean, even looking and reading about communist ideas and the whole thing with the Russian spies way back coming into the U.S. and trying to mess with our laws and everything. It's a little concerning seeing what's going on, especially with the riots and what they're for and some of this crap they're doing, man. It's just, I don't know if I can cuss on here. I mean, as far as all this goes.
Yes, you can cuss.
So, I mean, some of the stuff, man, holy crap. I mean, they got guys running around wearing pink pussy hats trying to stand up for women's rights, which, hey, I mean, good for women and all that. But, I mean, forcing guys to go around wearing pink pussy hats and then telling that to a 4-year-old and making their 4-year-old wear a pink pussy hat. Like,
exactly.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think a lot of these people realize the fucking downstream effects that all this shit is going to have. And kids watching all this shit. Like kids have access to the internet that most parents don't even realize. All the stuff that they watch. Like what kind of fucking illnesses are they going to come up?
And they're talking about banning Chase from Paw Patrol because they want to cancel the fucking police.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it keeps on going on. Even the whole.
I'm telling you, EMP.
The BLM thing, today they said that light skinned people have white privilege here in the U.S. So I'm just like, come on, man. Why does it have to be about race? I'm just, we're all people. We're all men and women. Come on. Like, you don't have to be doing that.
Did you just assume my gender? How dare you?
Yeah, it's getting really bad. I mean, you always see it really in cities, but going back to what we were talking about.
No, it's not just in cities, dude. It's everywhere. And, because you're going to have people on each side of the spectrum, wherever you go. and that's their right. You know, you're always going to find people that you disagree with, and it doesn't matter what they believe in. You don't have to listen to it. That's your right.
Yep.
You know,
I mean,
I don't know.
Generally speaking, too. I mean, you go out like in urban or not urban areas, but like way out in the suburbs and past that in the country, everybody's voting Republican. But
for sure,
it's kind of weird because we've had a system that's shifted slowly left over time. I mean, a lot of people thought that, Trump was going to be the 2A messiah. And, he came out, banned bump stocks outright. Nobody voted on it. I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole political thing. I like a lot of his views, don't get me wrong. But saying that he's the 2A messiah, I don't entirely agree with that. But has he done a lot for the 2A? Yeah. I mean, he just signed, what was that, the National Conservation Act going in to preserve a lot of land and stop a lot of our mines from, polluting streams. So a lot of people go hunting and stuff too. And we're hopefully, before everything, all this BS hit, we had the National Hearing Act too to just have us buy suppressors right over the counter. I mean, I totally agree with that too.
For sure.
I don't know why the hell we have to go through a year. I mean, I'm complaining, but you guys can't even get them. I shouldn't be bitching, but yeah, I get it. But
all right, listen.
Back to the good stuff here.
Hey, you know what? Tell us about that fancy build you got. I don't know whether you got it close at hand or not, but show it on the absolutely. Let's hear about this thing.
Oh man. It's about 10 pounds, 12 ounces, but it's a Manners MCS TA. Got a Zermatt origin. It's originally Bighorn. They changed the name to Zermatt. It's got a Princeton Hero 16.5-inch barrel. Got a Sandman S can on the back or the front of it, and then I got Vortex LHT on there too. Literally just got it, so I'm breaking everything in and doing some load development on it too. But should be
what caliber again?
6.5 Cree with a 16.5-inch barrel.
Oh, you joined the Man-Bun clan. Way to go.
Now, why did you go with a 16.5-inch?
So, I get that question a lot. So, this hasn't been very mainstream. This is kind of what I was talking about, too. So, depending on what grain weight you're going with, there's a guy on Instagram. I think his name is JT Comfort. He owns a huge precision rifle brand making company, too. And he's got a video of him shooting. Don't quote me on this. Either 140s or 130s out to 1,200 yards with it. Consistently. So I was like, hell, I'll give it a shot, see what speeds I can get. I saw some people reporting with 127s, or I'm sorry, 120s and 130s, anywhere between that grain weight of getting upwards of 2750 feet per second, which seems pretty standard for a 140 with like, longer inch barrels. If you're staying, you're not pushing crazy speeds out of it. So, just wanted to give it a shot. It's a good little backpack and grade for the backwoods of what I'm doing here in Missouri. So
I gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be shooting long range with it, but I got a 26-inch barrel. I usually do for all that stuff, but for what I'm doing, it's good.
What are you calling long range down there?
Yeah, so that's the thing. So I can effectively shoot out to only 450. I don't think that's long range, at least to me. At least again, it's subjective who you're talking to, but
it's subjective, right? For everyone,
for sure. But I mean, we have bench press clubs too. You can get out to a little bit past 2,000 yards too, but they're ridiculously expensive down here. I mean, living in the city kind of sucks. I try to get out of here as much as I can to get out in the land and start shooting. But I don't like the city too much.
Sorry, Blake, one of our buddies. Should have got a 6.5 rooster, but I hear it's a 5-year-old.
Oh yeah, I want to hear about this. I remember Dano. We all first met was talking about that a little bit with you. What's going on with that, man?
Oh, it's a bit slow, but you know what? A bit slow. It's really slow. 3.5 years ago, I started this goddamn thing and went through a few how do I say painful contacts, and I finally got a forming die and final sizing die. And it's going all right. I still don't have a seating die, so I have my buddy Jens's 6.5 short action ultra mag seating die here to actually seat bullets. And you know what? The damn thing shoots well. Right now, I've got a bunch of 140 grain A maxes that I'm plowing through.
Yeah.
And out to 1,050 yards, I've got, oh Jesus, Jens, what the hell was it? 7.7 mil up to get to 1,050. The thing's going 2960, which I think is pretty impressive.
Your MV is 2960.
Say again, sorry.
Your muzzle velocity is 2960 out of that thing.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Wow.
sir. And I topped out at 3,025.30 when I got stiff bolt lift. So I'm back down from my absolute ceiling as far as I'm concerned, anyways. And it's doing well. You know, I just need to do some fine tuning with the final sizing and all that kind of stuff. It's fairly impressive. Jens has it's worked out fairly well so far. I've gotten guys saying to me, and for good reason. So what you did was created a 260. Well, sort of more like a 260 Ackley, I guess. But it's just one of those things. Like, I used to be a machinist years ago, and it's one of those things. I know how to do these things, and it's because I can. Tyler says, would a 6.5 Creedmoor be good for moose in open country?
Oh man. So
do you have moose down there, buddy?
We do not. We do not have moose.
Don't.
Only white-tailed. However, talking to a lot of people that do open guides to 6.5 Creeds, you're going to get a lot of mixed answers, because one of the biggest arguments is shot placement, which that's one of the biggest arguments. And then you're talking about, in my personal perspective, you're talking about the actual expansion of projectiles themselves, depending on what you're using and your own muzzle velocity that you're creating with your own hand load. To put that in perspective, I mean, you have standard hunting projectiles, right? Like soft points, or you got the ELDXs and stuff like that. You go shoot those for hunting. A lot of people don't know this, but there is a sweet spot depending on your velocity. So let's say you have like a 2750 MV, right? If you shoot anything in with that MV to 100 yards in, your bullet's going to fragment like a grenade. Once that hits that MV. So
that's basic physics. That's velocity times mass squared, or however
exactly.
The hell it is.
So the further you stretch out, there's going to be a point between a certain yardage where your bullet, a standard hunting projectile bullet, will actually expand and work. And the further you go out, you're going to get unreliable expansion. You might get some weird fragmentation. It all depends. However, when you start talking about monolithics, that's a whole nother story.
Oh, God.
I mean, the only thing that would technically fragment would be a pedal at that point coming off there. So to put in perspective, with a higher velocity, you get more expansion with a monolithic, but less penetration. The slower a monolithic goes, you get more penetration and less expansion. So we did a test on that with the 127 LRX with gel locks and dog bone that just replicated rib bone about 3 inches in. And we put wood blocks behind it, which the wood, depending on what type of wood you're using, of course, but not as strong as bone. So I can't remember off the top of my head what the MV was, but it was moving slow. And it went all through 30 inches of that gel block out the other side, hit the wood, and just bounced right back. Didn't penetrate the wood. So talking about a hunting scenario, if you shoot that at a further range, will it go through the rib? You're going to have to hit a bone, because if it hits meat, it's going to go right through. But I mean, what are the odds of that happening? I mean, you're almost talking about the lottery of hitting a bone or hitting in between a rib or that. So
but on a moose, like if you're up in North Country and you're taking that shot 20, 30 yards away or whatever, however much you call it in, and you smack that shoulder blade,
It's funny. Jens and I had this conversation, this exact conversation today, because I'd made the comment about my 6.5 rooster that it would be a good hunting round. And I was talking more about deer in that, and we talked about moose, and in Europe they still use the 6.5 Swede for Steve 6.5 Swede for moose. And yes, it is effective. Generally, I think over there they use the big 160 grain round nose bullets, and but it's the same thing, that kinetic energy. If you're shooting something inside 200 yards, even with the factory ammunition you can get for 6.5 Swede, which is generally a lot of the times very lethargic because of the older M96s and that had weak actions. They're going 2,600 feet per second or something like that. It's still going to pound that moose, not like a 338 or, like Steve says, snipe tack. Snipe tack is king for moose. Attaboy. I don't know why you want to be so angry at moose, but anyway. Perfectly doable with a 6.5. A 6.5 Creedmoor. There's lots of guys that say, oh, a 6.5 Creedmoor is not a hunting cartridge, and these are the reasons why. You know what? Horseshit. Yes, it was designed. Same thing with the 6.5 by 47. It was designed for 600-yard target competition. That doesn't mean that it can't be used for
the application is just different.
Absolutely.
When
the
it's
bullet
pushing
selection.
Out, I just picked up, and I'm glad you said that, because I just picked up that Savage Axis in 6.5 man bun, and that thing's great. I can't wait to take it for mule deer this year.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait, and I'm going to try and take those 400, 500 yard shots, because now I'm comfortable with you,
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, because you can do that. Doesn't mean you always should.
No,
you have that ability now that you've got that knowledge. Steve brings up a good point here. Sectional density works for the Swede, and that 160 grain round nose bullet, the sectional density on it is pretty wicked, and you get all that mass pushing through that channel. It just bloody works. And it's the same for the 6.5 Swede. You just talked about the 127 LRX, things like that. Monolithic bullets, in my experience. You've got to drive the buggers hard at any range. Because I've had them pencil through. I've shot mule deer at 400 plus yards with the Barnes in a 243. Inside 200 yards, there's no question the goddamn thing was dead on the spot, providing I pulled the trigger in the right spot. But you get out beyond its real punch, and it'll start to pencil. Then you got to chase that son of a bitch. It's kinetic energy and bullet construction.
You bring up a really good point there, because, especially when you're talking about hand loading, because it really just depends on your individual ability to create a hand load with a high velocity to really make sure that bullet stretches out and does what it's designed to do. I think Oscar Long here really brought up a good point too. And bullet design is way more important for big game hunting than cartridge design.
Amen.
One of the things I've been working on right now it's a little controversial, specifically talking about standard hunting projectiles like soft points and the acetal tips like Sierras and Hornadies have for their hunting and stuff. Is the lead dispersion in the meat itself when you hit that animal, opposed to a monolithic. It's kind of interesting. There's a guy that actually wrote an article on it that everybody can look up here. From what I remember, depending on how you process that meat and how much that bullet has fragmented or left lead trace amounts behind, potentially that whole animal, you're literally eating all lead contaminated meat. At that point, they started using monolithic bullets to change that. I know California over here is making people use monolithic bullets.
Yep.
For
a while now. Yeah,
it's bullshit that they're making them do that, but at the same time, it's a huge blessing for them to get into monolithics and see what they're doing, because monolithics, I mean, they haven't been very mainstream for a long time. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of guys switching to that for lead dispersion inside there and overall penetration performance at slow velocities or high velocities too.
Yeah.
But it's pretty interesting to see where it all goes. I mean,
listen, I'm here to tell you right now, all the years that I've been hunting and eating wild game, all the lead that you ingest, you only get a few, it's not that big a deal. You know,
Yeah,
the vision goes a little bit, and you get a couple of twitches.
Yeah.
It's not that big a deal.
and then you start waking up at 3:30 in the morning every day.
No, that's just old guy, man.
I mean, listen, I don't ever mean to bash any specific brands or anything like that. But, I'm not going to discredit, innovation or things like that for something that might work.
Definitely.
Well,
so
where
does something?
Man.
Sorry, Kurt.
Sean.
Where does something like a Nosler ballistic tip fall into that? Because like they have a polymer tip or like a Hornady VMAX or something. Like where does that fall in?
We used to say about the that ballistic tip that it'll eat more meat than you will.
Yeah, it's very interesting because at that point, I mean, it really just depends how fast you're pushing that bullet, and you're talking about jacket thicknesses, sectional density of that bullet, what's actually going to happen. Because I mean, even doing these gel blocks that we do, even though it sort of replicates what it's going to do,
not the same. So like, if I'm pushing like oh God, what was the load I did? I got to look, but like a 130 grain Nosler ballistic tip out of a 270. What I can't remember I think I was pushing 28 or 2900. What was I? Remember, Kurt, when I was texting?
I can't remember, but you know what? Generally speaking, if you're around that 90% range of potential velocity, you're in around that 2900, 28 and change anyway with a 130 and a typical 22-inch 270.
Yeah.
You'll be in that range.
But will that chew the fuck out of a mule deer? Because if so, I'm not going to use it.
Well, what range are you shooting them at?
Well, that's anywhere from 100 to 500, let's say.
So you can test this out, in which we've been trying to put on the app. So there's a lot of YouTube videos out there of guys just making homemade gel blocks, and you can go to. Do you guys have Petco's up where you are, or any kind of dog stores or whatever you guys call them up there? They sell the rawhide bone, not rawhide,
right.
but dog bone. Yeah. So get the rib bones, throw them inside there, and what you can do is when you're doing your low development, just say I don't know how you guys do low development, or maybe 3 shots to 5 shots per grain weight. Keep on going up. But make one individual bullet each more. So instead of, say you're doing 5 shot per string, make a 6th one, set that aside, get a gel block. Sounds like a lot of work, but I mean, the difference between hurting an animal and not putting that down versus taking it down and knowing what that your hand load's effectively doing. You can shoot on these gel blocks, incrementally shoot each one so it replicates what that velocity is doing further down range. So say you set your final load at 2750 feet per second, right? But you got with your ladder test, if you're going down 0.2 grains, shoot that round on that gel block, see what that bullet does, because that'll replicate what that's doing further down.
It'll also change. Like I did my load development in 25 degrees Celsius heat, which is 75. And then hunting season, it's this last year in October, it was minus 30.
Yeah, backwards.
Yeah. So
generally speaking, for hunting rifles, you're doing it backwards, Sean. Like that's
So that's where you get into the rabbit hole of temperature stability of powder too. So, I mean, depending on what you're using, like Vintivori has some amazing powder temperature stability wise. Hodgkin's great stuff. Shooter's World's got great stuff. Pretty much all lines have had pretty good temperature stability. The way that we test it when we're doing articles is it's kind of funny. You guys ever seen a Seuss V-Day cooker before?
Say again.
The Seuss V-Day cooker. It's like so.
Would I find him at my local restaurant? Is that a sous chef?
No, you can get them on Amazon for pretty cheap, but essentially it's a plastic bag that's airtight sealed, and it heats up water. So you can replicate. So say you have the ability to shoot off the back of your deck or out in the field using this thing with like a battery, heat up your rounds to a certain degree and go 10 degrees. I guess you guys use Celsius, Fahrenheit. So for us, we go 10 degrees down in Fahrenheit and replicate what that round will do. We take breaks in between, about 5-minute breaks in between shots to replicate, let that chamber cool down, replicate what that will do temperature wise. And then you got freezers and all that stuff, but it's good to know because your velocity will drop a lot in cold weather, believe it or not.
So we have a saying in Canada here. It may be a little bit different than what you got down there. We just kind of going out for a rip, are you boy? Is kind of a saying.
Out for a rip, are you bud there, don't you know?
Yeah.
So all this shit that you're doing, and I was reading that on some of your articles. I'm like, no, we don't do that.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'd say probably 99% of people don't do it, but just finding that information and just like, showing people what you can do with it and what that powder is capable of, it's good to know at the same time.
For sure. Oscar brings up a good point. Even though he's being funny, keep your rounds in your underwear to keep it warm. But there is some validity to that. Honestly, if you keep ammunition in your pocket, whether it's a chest pocket on your shirt or your jeans pocket or whatever, regardless of the outside temperature, if you make a practice of that ammunition really is going to always be the same temperature. So Sean, with your load development in the summer,
just slip a couple cartridges under my balls and we'll be okay.
Well, right. Now when you go to hunting season, carry your ammunition in your front pocket. Like it's right beside your sack, and it's about the warmest place on your body. And you don't have anything to worry about.
So I'm funny I brought that up, but I'm fucked up because I'm shooting out of a truck. Like not in the truck, out of it, but my rounds are in a mag because you can't transport a firearm legally with it loaded. Yeah. So I've got the mag on the dash
without a banjo. If you have a banjo, it's different.
Well, that's only in Manitoba.
Sorry, Sean.
That's okay. But like I've got the 5-round mag sitting on the dash of the truck, and I'm waiting for the sun to come up because right around that crest, I'm going to get out of the truck, pop over that bluff, and there they are, bedded down. Right.
Yes,
so it's it's a moot point, if that makes sense for me. Yeah. But at the same time, if I'm posted up in a blind like I was a few years ago, and I'm sitting there with a mag in my pack, cold as balls, literally, and I'm sitting there shaking, and then I gotta grab it and go. It makes sense to just maybe stuff a couple rounds in your nuts.
You take that magazine and inside your jacket, and you go right here, and you hold that sucker there. Done.
Yeah.
But most people don't think of that.
I didn't.
And especially if you're in a blind, you've got that time, you've got concealment and all that kind of stuff. You can get away with that sort of thing.
Yeah, it really comes into factor too. And you have those guys that put one in the chamber and they're walking around and they got the rest of their ammo in the pocket because that round is gonna freeze. So that first shot's gonna be way big. I mean, again, it's subjective. Here in Missouri, we're shooting whitetail from maybe 150, 200 yards max. Not far at all. You're talking about impact drop between 2,750 and maybe 2,600. Not much at all. Not really.
Right.
But you got those guys that are shooting pretty far. I mean, that's going to be a significant point of impact shift, depending on temperature and everything else. But
so maybe you and Rob at Caber Arms can have a conversation here, or maybe just run a few over the Corona when it cools down sometime, and then you got to redo all your your ballistics and all that. Come on, Rob.
Yeah, what are you talking about? You mean I have to go to the range and shoot again? What the fuck?
Effort.
Well, at the same time, too, if you do that, you're gonna have to. That's gonna be like a year-long test. You're gonna have to wait till it gets winter time and then test your bullets then, and then you have to wait till do that. And
now look at Oscar here. Theoretically, and here comes the nerd. Theoretically, shouldn't a -30 barrel be smaller, therefore tighter and more pressure? Or are the bullets smaller too? Now that's a good point because different materials expand and contract at different rates.
Exactly.
Yep.
Same, and it's not just materials, and it's not just metals. It's powders too. Powders expand and contract as well, right?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's crazy to see what these powder manufacturers have been coming up with in at least the past 5 to 10 years with some of their temp stable powders that are coming out. Because I mean, I think it was what was it? PRS.
Fucking Rob at Gothic. Gotta shell that Black Hills, hey bud. You still haven't sent us that test out. You fuck. Anyway. Sorry, buddy. Go on.
No, you're good. No, it's cool to see like the tests they do that with, because they're saying like with like a 1 degree difference. I think it was H4350. There's like a 0.1 or 0.2 FPS difference per degree going higher or lower in temperature. I mean, it just depends upon, barrel length,
Well,
powder.
but that adds up though. You
Yeah.
get like especially if you get a shift going like you were talking about leaving one in the chamber and you're going for a walk, that's gonna, especially if you sighted it in like I did in the middle of June, and then you go for a walk and let's say in your temperature in freedom units, you go to like you're out at 55, a 55-degree morning, which is kind of fall weather, kind of, I guess. I don't know. But then you're walking around and it cools off during the day or whatever. You have no idea what's going to happen to that unless you do your testing.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, those powders can be crazy, man. Even the non-temp stable powders, just like 30-degree difference, you're going to see like a 500 to 600 like FPS difference. It's nuts.
Oh, yeah.
So in your experience, what's the worst?
What's the that's a good question. I've only extensively tested Precision from Shooter's World, Varget, H4350, a lot of the temp stable powders, comparing them to other temp stable powders just to see if there's essentially like looking at outliers and looking at the data overall and seeing what the comparisons are, and then trying to eliminate the outliers of, maybe I had improper neck tension on one test, or maybe I left one in, that sous vide cooker for too long. There's a lot of variables you have to go through and put that out there. But as far as the worst powder I've ever heard of, I really couldn't tell you. Just generally speaking, a lot of the mainstream powders are usually temp stable, like a lot of your 4350, Varget, H1000, all that stuff. So, that's why they sell a lot too. So
have you ever
stuff like 3031, IMR 3031, Hodgdon BLC 2, stuff like that is especially the spherical powders. They are especially bad for temperature stuff for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in your experience, we got a company in Canada called Canada Ammo, and they bring in a brand called Dominion powder, and it's, you haven't tested anything like that, have you?
No, I've not. I'd be willing to though.
I'd have to. Well, I wonder how that would work, because like it's knockoff from China, but it's like they call it D700. Like here's a smokeless propellant D700 that I'm looking at for 5 pounds, $159.99 Canadian plus shipping. And what does it say? Use IMR 700X data. So they have. I don't know.
With that, so for example, like you have Hodgdon, which is at an ADI in Australia, and they also have St. Mark's here in the US. And then you also have Shooter's World that does out of Czech Republic. But it might be from China, but they might also be buying it and relabeling it
from the same stuff. Well, guaranteed that's what it is. They're not.
Yeah.
Here's a Dominion D4350 SSC, which is their H4350 shortcut.
Yeah.
It's the same stuff, just IMR 4350 rebadged. Like, guaranteed that's what it is. But it's a fraction of the cost of what the Hodgdon stuff is. Like 5 pounds of this stuff is $159.99. Free shipping, mind you, after over $200. So you get 10 pounds of shit. It's a smoking price.
It depends on what your game is, right?
I guess.
If you're hunting and you're able to sit in a blind and tuck that mag under your armpit, like I was saying earlier, no big deal. Go ahead and buy that cheaper stuff. It probably won't make any difference to you, especially when you're hunting within 100 yards or some damn thing.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? When you're playing some of the games that some of us do, going out to 1,000 or 2 miles, like some of us, not me personally, but some of the guys that I know, we're covering King of 2 miles here, and what is it? September 4th, I guess it starts, right?
Ooh,
I guarantee you that they aren't. Hey, look at this powder over here. It's it's $20 cheaper a pound. Let's try that. They're not even considering that. So But then if you're going for volume, like if you're shooting for volume, if you're a 3-gun shooter or whatever, and when you save money on components, that's going to add up long term. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like you were talking about earlier, it's all subjective. Just all it comes down to what you're doing.
Yep. For
Here,
sure.
Oscar has a good point.
Yeah.
I think these Dominion powders are not just canister grade, which means they don't guarantee consistency lot to lot. Well, that's like any powder. Lot to lot will change for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
But still, anyway. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, we've killed an hour, and we could keep going. Like, this is insane. We can talk. We got to have you on more. This is gonna be fun.
Love to be on, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, what do you got for the girlfriend's rifle you were talking earlier?
That's it right there. That one I was showing you.
That is. Oh, okay. So what are you shooting then?
Yeah.
I use that 26-inch one. It's a heavy mofo right there. So I set that right on the line and just use that. But I'm pretty much the first one that's introduced her to whitetail. So I'm trying to do it the right way and not trying to give her like, some heavy ass rifle and, give her a bad experience. So I just try to build her something lightweight that she can use. So
Oscar Long, friend of the show, who's been commenting all night, would say give her a 375 H&H and you'll be good.
Yeah, he would. He absolutely would.
Yeah.
Steve brings up a good point here. 47 rounds per pound, and I won't sacrifice the results for $50. And what he's talking about is his snipe tack.
Yeah.
47 rounds per pound of powder. And he's one of the competitors in the King of 2 Miles coming up here in September.
Oh, wow.
So
that's cool.
That's what I was talking about. That there's just no consideration for anything else. He's got to have that consistency. Otherwise, he's just turning money into noise.
For sure,
embarrassing himself.
Well, and Steve is the builder behind EM Precision Rifles.
He is,
right?
Yes,
so
he's the guy on the lathe.
Yeah, they are Canada's premier precision rifle builder, and so Steve is the man. Shane is too. Shane's the money guy and the sales guy, but Steve's right now. He's been texting me. He's doing my build right now. I wonder where that's at, Steve. We got to talk about that. But these guys know their shit. And so when Steve says, 47 rounds per pound, and I won't sacrifice the results for $50, well, there's something to do that, right? So,
that's the thing. Why do you go into a competition like that with substandard components? I mean, they don't build substandard rifles. Well, why in the hell would you feed it substandard hay?
A PRS match for sure. But if you're going to a 3-gun match where you're shooting 10 to 30 yards and with the odd stage that goes to 300 out of an AR-15, and you're practicing 5,000 rounds, 5 to 10,000 rounds a month, let's say, that's a lot of shooting, and that's a lot of practice, right? Yeah, I'm not joking.
Would you do 5 to 10,000 rounds a month?
If you're serious, yeah, you do.
Do you have a fucking job?
Well, but when you're loading, when you're loading AR, when Go Tenda had that deal for American Eagle 55 grain 223, I can't remember the bullet, but then Federal had the rebate. Guys were buying 30,000 rounds.
Lord. And
just, because it's cheaper than reloading for it. And then
for sure,
it's just feeding the machine, right? And it's just unreal. And that's one of the reasons I stopped shooting it, is because I couldn't afford to fucking practice and keep up with some of these dudes that are, because I'm super competitive, 100%. If I'm doing something, I'm doing it to win it. And if I can't compete with these dudes that are running, ATRS modern varmints, $5,000 AR, non-restricted ARs, but then they're putting 5 to 10,000 rounds a month through it, I can't compete with that. So anyway, excuses, I know, but it's unreal. And anyway.
We had Walmart down here. They since that shooting in El Paso, they were selling ammo for 95% off. So my buddy, he's a huge
I love Texas
guys, and he went on this website called BrickSeek, and Walmart was one of them. He sends me a text, and I'm sitting in class, and he goes, "Dude," he goes, "we need to go right now." And I go, "What's going on?" He goes, "They're selling Federal 55 grain 200 packs at 223 for $7 a box." We went to 10 different Walmarts in the state, and we ended up together getting about 20,000 223 and couple thousand grain tips. I mean, 9 millimeters.
Okay, you have to stop. My dick can only get so hard.
But yeah,
I'm
it's
trying.
Holy shit.
They didn't announce shit. And some of them, they weren't even price matching other Walmart. So you'd go up and you'd find one Walmart that was doing for $7, and then you'd find some guy that screwed it up and was charging $4 a box for 200 rounds. And essentially, they just they go sell them and get the money, or just give it all to the police, the local police guys. So they're like, screw it. We went to every single one, and a lot of people were getting pissed off because we'd be walking out with like 4 grocery carts full of the stuff. But
well, I am working on my transfer to Dallas. So
yeah.
Our buddy Mike Hynek says that's why you shoot 22 long rifle PRS. The ammo's cheaper like that, and that's the state of things in Canada right now.
Yeah,
like, even 22 long rifle ammo, like to get good stuff, you're paying minimum $11 for a 50 round box. $11 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
Never mind a 200 round box of
or even a fucking
5.56.
Aguila, 1,000 rounds of Aguila, that brick shit, that was $50. You know, and or just CCI mini mags. What did I pay that week I texted you, Kurt? And it was I picked up 1,000 rounds in the plastic sleeves, and I think they were $17.99 a sleeve. For CCI mini mags. I'm like, wow. When you go to the States, I just drove through last fall, but I drove through Wisconsin, Minnesota, and I stopped in at Eau Claire, what's it called? The Fleet Farm, Eau Claire. Same thing, $4.99 for 50 rounds. CCI mini mags.
Oh my goodness, Mike.
Unreal. 3
bricks of Lapua Center X was like $400. He said.
Yeah, but that's shit. You're always gonna pay a fucking premium for that stuff,
right? But Blake is having a fucking coronary here.
Well, hey, I'll tell you what. Right now, though, the way things are going here, and with the primer shortages and powder and everything, I would not be surprised. I mean, seeing gun brokers charging that much, and then now the other day, regular price pistol primers, CCIs, about $35 for 1,000. Now they're charging about $80 if you can find them.
Gunbroker had 1,000 CCI small pistol primers for $180. I saw it. I just saw in there.
Yeah, it's
US, like unfucking brutal. You tag on 40 points for Canada.
I'm thinking I need a couple of hammer presses. Spit out a bunch of fucking primers. Hammer presses and nitroglycerin. I could do that in my basement, couldn't I?
I mean, you can do anything if you don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
that's you're picking up what I'm laying down, Sean.
So,
but you just put it on the internet forever.
No, nobody watches this show anyway.
Oh, nobody.
All 17 people
live.
I'd be interested to know it. I don't know this for sure or not, but do a lot of our like ammo wise, I guess it would, like Winchester and Remington, all that stuff come up to you guys. So I'm trying to think, what would like an average box of like 55 grain 223 Remington be up in Canada?
Remington, like UMC?
Yeah.
$13.99 for 50 rounds.
$13.99. Okay. Yeah.
When I last bought it, let's say.
Okay.
But then you go to like American Eagle, it's a little like at one time the American Eagle AR, the black box, whatever that was.
Yeah.
55 grainer as well. That was $9.99 at one point for 20 rounds.
At one point.
For the AR stuff. But then you go to like the Freedom buckets and all that garbage.
Yeah.
And it's $139, or the UMC bricks are, I think that's 250 rounds for UMC bricks. I think at Cabela's they were for 175. I can look it up. But yeah.
Even that Mike guy just said Americans are calling shops up here to buy supplies. Fuck. That's not good.
Well, but our liberal government wants us to, with our banned rifles, so M14s, ARs, VZ, CZ 858s, anything that was on the list, they said you either have to destroy them, turn them in when the buyback comes up, or export them. So they want us to get rid of them. It's just, nobody like a buddy of ours was trying to sell a bunch of parts to the States, and there's no FFL that'll take that shit. And if they do, it's pennies on the dollar. And yeah.
It's funny too, because some of the states that we've had gun buybacks in, the smart guys are going up to Lowe's because all the dumbasses are working those gun buyback counters, and they're making firearms, and they're going in, selling them, taking the money.
Oh yeah, buying zip guns out of Sked 80, or building zip guns out of Sked 80 pipe and getting $200 a piece for them.
Yeah, they're just going out there spending like $30, making a gun, going in, getting 200, and going to cash out on ammo.
Oh my god.
But
that's why it doesn't work. Here, okay, Remington UMC, that's pistol ammunition. So Remington range bucket, 9mm Luger from $139.99 Canadian. Freedom bucket, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, that's a 223 in stock online right now on Cabela's. 55 grain, $171.99 plus shipping online.
171.
Yeah, here
I'm trying to look it up right now. It says product not even available online, but
for sure. So here we go. Remington Freedom bucket, just the 55 grain metal case FMJ, 300 cartridge, 300 plus. It says here 300 plus UMC.
Whatever lands in the bucket.
Yeah, whatever the weight was. That's got to talk to. And here we go. Let's check out where we live, Regina, in stock, ready to go. $171.99.
Wow,
that's it.
So I'm almost thinking you better grab that, Sean.
I have enough 223. That's what I did during lockdown. Remember, I have like 4,000 rounds that I loaded right then, plus all the shit I had from before. Here UMC pistol ammunition from $12.99. So and Cabela's is kind of the go-to where we are. Yeah, and 124 grain FMJ, $12.99. I wonder what 40s cost, because that's what I used to shoot when I competed.
What's your guys'
40? Oh, they only sell it in fucking bulk, I think. Oh no, there you go, 50s. No longer available. So then you got to buy the 250 bricks, which is $130. So I wasn't wrong. That's when I was shooting my STI in IPSC, or what you call USPSA kind of thing.
Yeah. Do you guys have, how much is generally your guys' hazmat fee in Canada? You guys have one of those?
Cost? No, it's built into the cost.
Okay. Yeah, because I just found it on some website, and this is interesting. It was $139.99 for that 500 one, but they had it in stock 2 to 4 days to ship, but that stuff's going to be gone. I guarantee you by tomorrow I look at it. It was from a store I didn't even know existed. Big Red. I haven't heard of it, but it sounds kind of sketchy. But
if you don't shoot Big Red, then fuck you.
Shoot Big Red, y'all.
It's scary, man.
This is great. I could do this all fucking night. Here we go. Rob from Caber Arms, $76 for 50 rounds of Hornady American Gunner 6.5 Creed. That's probably, what is that, the 129 grain?
It is 140.
Probably 140. Yeah, there you go. Cool. So it's a shit show. It's a shit sandwich.
Absolutely.
I think we paid a little over $1 a round for that at our local Cabela's, but dude, walking in there now, it's sad. I mean, even the guns on consignment that people are selling, and even their collector series, where they have like FPG 44s and all those really, really old, nice guns, gone. People are buying them. We had
wait, you had like 8 like STG 44s in 8
dude,
on the shelf.
No, so at our Cabela's, they have like the regular gun counter, right? And then on the side, they have a private room in like these big wide open doors.
Oh, yeah.
Behind locked windows. And they have all sorts of different collectors' firearms or stuff that people bring in.
Is that like the lap dance room?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, no, Kurt, you watch TV, right? So Last Man Standing is a great show. I recommend it. It's not you. Yeah, it's dumb enough so you can just watch it and just be entertained. But they basically own a Cabela's, essentially. They call it Outdoor Man. And we're going to be taken off YouTube because now we're fucking copyright infringement, but I don't care.
No, Sean.
But like they have like the same thing when in a glass case, they'll have like MP40s and AKs and historical firearms behind a glass case for display, not necessarily for sale. But you're saying now they're selling them like they're selling those guns. Ugh.
Yeah, people are going there and drop fast amount of cash just to get some of those guns. I mean, I wouldn't. From the last time I was there, I didn't see. There were some of them that were going for like $5,000 to $10,000 that nobody bought. But I wouldn't be surprised now. I mean, it's not uncommon too. So we have a pretty much like a theater right around the Cabela's near us out here. That's for like country singers or rappers or rock and roll, whatever. And
Branson,
yeah, we got that all over
Branson,
the place,
Missouri.
Yeah.
Dude,
no
my
big deal.
my grandma and grandpa, God bless their souls, they passed. I'm just kidding. I'm not Catholic. They would go to Branson every second year. I'm not.
Really?
They take a fucking bus tour.
Yeah.
Go every second year. I'm not joking.
It's a big
It's
deal.
a nice place, man. It's cool.
Amazing people. Anyway, they always loved it.
But they some of the country singers, I forget which one it was, but he'd go in there and I had a buddy.
Conway Twitty.
But fuck, man, this guy that went in there, he had a bill that was outstanding for what the hell did he tell me? Over $120,000 in firearms purchases that he still didn't pay. And since he's a country singer, they just let it slide and let him go with the guns. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll pay you." So
I'm sure it'll come.
Put it up on their layaway thing.
Yeah.
But he ended up paying him. But I was like, "Holy shit, that was 3-4 years
Hey,
ago."
come on, it's Randy Travis. I'm sure he's good for it.
It was crazy. I'm just like, this guy's going in there, but you go in now. There's not you can't find 9mm 223, even the weird, cartridges do like the Doppler cartridges do. And a lot of people.
You ever seen Goodfellas when Joe Pesci, when the guy tried to call his tab in? And he's like, "Fuck, you know how much fucking business I bring in here, you motherfucker? $9,000, I pissed that shit." I can just imagine Conway Twitty in that fucking blue suede jacket going in there and be like, $120,000. What a bunch of bullshit this is. And, you know how much business I fucking bring in here, you fucking pansies. In those tight fitting jeans. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do listen to the Odd Country song. Don't. Rob just said that. Sean, standing there in those tight fitting jeans. Rob, you do not want to see me in those tight fitting jeans.
Fuck, that song's just going through my head now.
Yeah.
You better be careful. I'll start singing it. We'll lose listeners right away.
Well, yeah. Yeah, please don't.
Oh,
anyway, let's start wrapping this up. So,
all right,
Balake, where can we find you?
Oh, Instagram, reloading_all-day. The website's reloadingalldday.com. And then we got that app too that's called
Check out that app, everyone. Yeah.
What's that app called?
Rad Development, RAD, and then the second word's development.
Now that is going to cost you the cost of a cup of coffee, right?
Yeah, 99 cents.
Well, up in Canada, I just purchased it. It's $1.29.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got your prices up there. Forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to pay those freedom pennies anyway.
We got to pay for Justin's fucking holidays, that cockfucker.
I told ourselves we wouldn't talk about that. But anyway, thanks, guys, for joining us. Balake, thank you for, 10 minutes before the show. Oh, we should ask Blake to come on.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. Since I was supposed to ask him on Monday.
Yes, right in there.
We should do it again, just to have, we could pick your brain all night, dude. You've got a ton of experience, and check him out, Reloading All Day. He's got art. You have a website too, right?
Yep, reloadingalldday.com.
And you have articles on there, everything like that, guys. Check out his content. It's great. Give us a like and follow. First Focal Plane podcast. Yeah, what else? Send us some feedback too. We haven't got that in a while.
Hey, also check out emprecision.ca.
Yep. What was that? Is it emprifles.ca?
emprifles.ca. I'm sorry. And what else, Sean?
Bolt Action Coffee. If you are a coffee drinker, remember you get 10% off if you use the code First Focal Plane when you check out. So shout out to Miles, Duncan, Rob, Cappy, Carrie, all those guys involved in that.
You betcha.
And also, there's a course for Call Sign 66 that's filling up really quick.
In Tabor, Alberta?
I think so.
I believe so. What's that date? It's
Rob
September 5th
Freericks.
and 6th.
Patton Freericks. Rob, what's the date there? Drop it in the comments. Because Gothic Line is like co-sponsoring it, I think. So, but yeah, it's filling up quick. I think there's only a couple spots available. So if you want to go learn how to shoot the fuck out of your gun, they're the ways to go. Wait, did he just text me? No, he did not. Anyway, check them out. What else? I think we got it. So
I think so.
thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
See you guys next week.
Good show, boys.
Bye now.
Ciao.